Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn about the English subject, and our topic name is part second. Topic name is the phase of tone. The phase of tone. 2.4. Part 1 second. In the first part, we will learn about the different incidents. Today we are going to learn about the second part of the story. In this story, that means in the first story, how many characters in the story? First, please tell me. Helen, Hector, Menelaus. How many countries? How many countries involved in this story? 2 countries. First is two cities, Trojan and Greek. Then second part we are going to start. First I will read and then you are listen carefully. At last Troy was taken not by the force but a tree. It was a cunning Odysseus who thought a plan to obtain the victory. Let us build a great wooden horse, he said, big enough to hold the men inside it, and let some of our best fighters hide in the horse. Then let us burn our tent and pretend to sail away in our ship. But instead of the sailing away, we will return in night when the Trojans are asleep. We will attack the city and burn and kill. That means in first stanza, at least it was taken not by force but a trick. That means the Trojan was taken not only force but also by a trick. म्हणजे ट्रोजनला हरवणं फक्त फोर्स शक्य आहे का? तर नाही. त्यासाठी काय गरजेचं आहे? ट्रिक्स गरजेचे आहेत. It was a cunning Odysseus who thought of a plan to obtain the victory. And Odysseus who was doing a plan about the victories. Let us build a great wooden horse. आणि तो काय प्लॅन करतो की आपण काय करायचं? wooden horse क्रिएट करायचा. He said big enough to hold the men inside it. That means he decided to make a wooden horse. म्हणजे काय करायचं? wooden horse. wooden horse काय करायचं? लाकडाचा घोडा काय करायचा? तयार करायचा. And then big enough to hold the men inside it. That means in this horse the hold the men inside it. And let some of our best fighters hide in the horse. And in the house the Greek best fighters hiding the horse. And ते काय करतात? प्लॅन करतात की बेस्ट जे काय फायटर्स आहेत त्यांना कुठे हाईड करायचं? in the house, wooden horse. Then let us burn our tent. And at that time they show to the Trojans, they burn his tents or the Greek tents and pretend to sail away in our ship. म्हणजे आपण काय करायचं? एक pretend ला काय करायचं? sail करून away sail in our ship मधून दुसरीकडे जायचं. But instead of sailing away, we will return in the night. And we will काय करायचं? return night ला यायचं. And when the Trojans are asleep, we will attack the cities and burn and kill. And when the Trojans were asleep and the asleep stand at that time, we will attack the city. म्हणजे ते काय करतात? जो हा कोण ओडिसीस आहे तो काय प्लॅन करतो की आपण एक वुडन हॉर्स तयार करायचा. त्यामध्ये त्या वुडन हॉर्स मध्ये काय करायचं? आपले जे काय बेस्ट फायटर्स काय करायचे? हाईड करायचे. We will attack the cities and burn and kill. Here given the one question: how did Odysseus plan to defeat the Trojans? How did Odysseus plan to defeat the Trojans? Which plan of this Odysseus? Let's build build a great wooden horse. Then second, the Greek leader decided to follow the advice of the wise Odysseus. So great horse of wood was made by the skillful engineer, the greatest hero Menelaus. Odysseus himself and others entered it. The last man to go in the being the architect himself, who knew the secret of opening and shutting the entrance. That evening the Greeks burned their tent and sailed away in their ship. But they did not go very far. Only one man who was left behind to pursue the Trojans to drag the horse into their city. That means the Greek leader decided to follow the advice of Odysseus. That means advice gave the advice to the all Greeks, and this advice accept all these leaders, Greek leaders. So great horse of wood was made by the skillful engineer. That means this horse was made up by the skillful engineers and greatest of heroes. Last one, this wooden horse is made up by wood. And the great heroes are like Menelaus, Odysseus himself and others entered in the wooden horse. And the last man go to being the architect himself, who knew the secret of opening and shutting of the entrance. That means the last one or other also the Menelaus and the other Odysseus, which is the enter in this wooden horse. And last man go to the being the architect himself also goes on it, who knew the secret of opening and shutting the entrance. That evening, that means at that evening, the Greeks burned their tents. You know the tents? That evening, the Greeks burned their tents and swept away in the ships. And they, according to the Odysseus' plan, he was that means the Greek peoples and the heroes, which is the great heroes, entered in the wooden horse, and some other people who also burned their tent and sailed away in their ship, but they did not go very far. पण ते दूर गेले होते का नव्हते, तर ते काय करते फक्त आपले टेंट्स बर्न केले आणि थांबले. Only one man who was left behind to pursue the Trojans to drag the horse into their city. आणि त्यातल्या एका माणसाने काय केला, म्हणजे तो ड्रॅग करत गेला. ड्रॅग म्हणजे उडणी, पुढलं. Next day, Trojan woke up, expecting to go out and fight. They had done for the past 10 years. What delights and surprise they felt at the sight they saw on the seashore outside the wall. It seemed that long siege was over at least. The tent had been burned. The shore was deserted. The Greek ship had all gone. That means next day, and like last day, the next day, Trojans also woke up and accepting they go out and fight to Greeks. But at that time, they see the delighting and surprising. That means at that time, they all these Trojans are delighting and surprising because of this side they saw on the seashore outside the wall. Then next day, he saw this. Saw on the seashore and outside the wall. At that time, it seemed that the long siege was over. That means the long war was over. But actually, these war was over. They were over. No, because this is the plan of the Odysseus. The tent had been burned, and they saw the tent of this Greek had been burned. The shore was deserted. The Greek ship had all gone. म्हणजे त्यांना असं वाटलं की हे युद्ध इथं संपलेलं आहे आणि ग्रीकच्या टेंट पूर्ण बर्न झालेले आहेत आणि त्यामध्ये ग्रीक शिप हॅड आर गोन्स गेलेले आहेत. Its peace at last they cried and opened wide their gates and came out the large numbers of the slain, glad to be free again to go where they pleased. Then they saw on the stand the huge wooden horse they gathered around it. The astonishment for it indeed a wonderful piece of work. So that means at the time the Trojans think about this war is over, but actually this is not over, because this is the one of the plan of the Greek heroes or great heroes of Odysseus. Then peace at the last, they cried and opened the wide their gates. That means they Trojans was very happy because this war or siege is over, but actually this war is not over. This is the plan of the Odysseus. And then he saw on the sand a huge wooden horse, and after some time he saw the wooden horse on the sand. They gathered around it astonishment, for it was indeed a wonderful piece of work, because this work is these Trojans saw one huge wooden horse on the sand, and indeed a wonderful piece of work. Wonderful work of then, as they were wondering how the horse had been built and why it had been left behind, they found a bridge with his hands tied together laying under it. When the Trojans dragged him out, the man pretended to be very frightened of them. When he was commanded to tell them why the Greeks had gone or why they had left this horse behind, they pretended trembled very much and refused to speak. When at least they pretended to kill him, he spoke and told them his health state. That means they were wondering how the horse had been built. And if they ह्या की ऑर्डरिंग मीन्स astonishment. आश्चर्यचकित असतात की असा घोडा कोणी बनवलेला आहे. Why it is been left behind and to the का सोडलेला आहे. From his Greek with hands to tie together, laying under it. That means the great heroes as like Odysseus, Menelaus and other heroes entered in this house. म्हणजे वेगवेगळे हिरोज होते ते कुठे होते त्या वुडन हॉर्सच्या मध्ये होते. The man pretended to be very frightened of them when he was commanded to tell them why the Greeks had gone and why they had left this horse behind. He pretended tremulous very much refused to speak. When at least they pretended to kill him, he spoke and told them this health tales. That is in this old man who was said about this wooden horse, but the Trojans are not heard a word of this man. The Greeks are tired of long war and have sailed away in the ship, he said, but they are afraid of long voyage home too, and so they have made this horse and left it as an offering to the god of the sea. That means the Greeks are tired of long war. That means the Greeks were tired of long war and have sailed away in the ship. And he said, but they are afraid of a long voyage home too. म्हणजे काय झालेले होते, ग्रीक काय झालेले होते, घाबरले होते किंवा बरेच वेळ युद्ध झाल्यामुळे टायर्ड झाले होते, त्यामुळे ते कदाचित निघून गेले असतील असं काय वाटत होतं, शोधणं वाटत होतं. But and so they have made this horse and left as an offering to the god of sea. आणि त्यांनी काय केलं असेल, made this horse and left it as offering the god of sea. They wanted and so kill me and offer as a sacrifice to the sea god, but I escaped and hid from them. And but why did the Greeks make such huge horse? At that time, this horse, that means the Greeks. Why did the Greeks make such a huge horse? Some of the Trojans asked, and the cunning Greeks made this reply: if they had made a smaller offering, you might have taken it to your city. Then love would have gone to Trojans and not to Greeks. That is why I made it too big and go inside your gate. That means some people on the Trojans asked Questions. Why did the Greeks make a such huge horse? म्हणजे त्याचे जे काही प्रोग्राम्स असतात ते काय विचारतात. Why did the Greeks make such a huge horse? असा मोठा घोडा म्हणजे का बनवलेला असेल? Made this reply. When Greeks made this reply, if they had made a smaller offering. Smaller offerings you might have taken into your cities, and then the love would have gone to the Trojans and not to the Greeks. And हे कुणाचं लक आहे? ट्रोजनचं लक आहे. ते कुणाचं नाही, ग्रीकचं नाही. That is why they made it too big and too inside your gate. तो त्यांनी काय सोडलेलं आहे आपल्या इथे गेटवरती सोडलेला आहे. The Trojans were delighted to hear these. The Greeks have gone, they said, and their war are no longer necessary. Let us make hole in the wall and they drag horses in. That means the Trojans delighted and hear this. That means the Trojans were so happy because the Greek soldiers was gone. But at that time he decided this, break the wall and drag the wooden horse in the city. Their wise priest warned them not to do so. Some priests, आपण म्हणतो ते संत वगैरे ते काय म्हणजे लोक असतात, काय म्हणतात आपण त्याला, ओल्ड एजेड लोक किंवा ज्यांना नॉलेज असतं ते असे लोक प्रिस्ट आपण संत वगैरे. The wise priest warned them not to do so. It is maybe tricks that will raise us. He said, you will bring gas to all the cities if you break down the wall. But they were so excited that they paid no attention to his words. They broke down part of the strong wall in order to drag the horse. That means some priests or some older people give the advice to these Trojans. Trojans, they not to do so. That means you not drag this horse in the city. At that time the Trojans was break down the wall. म्हणजे ती काय करतात, ती वॉल तोडून ब्रेक करून काय करायचं असतो, तो वुडन बॉक्स आतमध्ये आणायचा असतो. काही पीपल्स काय करतात, सांगतात की तुम्ही असं करू नका. They were so excited. That means Trojan was very excited because of the war that means the Trojans think that war is over, but actually they were so excited and they no pay attention on this word. They broke down part of the strong wall. That means lastly the Trojans break down the part of strong wall in order to drag the horse in, and they drag the horse in the city. All that day the Trojans feasted and drunk and celebrated. After all their celebrations, they went to the sleep and slept soundly. But that day, rejoicing was soon followed by the night of terror and death. That means all of the day Trojans feasted, drinking waters and celebrated this day. And after all these celebrations, म्हणजे काय करतात, feast करतात, drink करतात आणि काय करतात, आपला डे सेलिब्रेट करतात. After all these celebrations, they went to sleep and spent soundly. That means after the celebration, he goes to the sleeping. And at that time, but that day, the rejoicing was soon followed by the night of terror and death. That means this night is very terrible for the Trojans. Why? Because of the Greek ship had not sailed afar. As soon as they were hidden by an island, they had lowered their sail and dropped anchors and listed for night. In the darkness, the fleet sailed back and heading ship, which was the Agamemnon's, bore to red light high on its mast. The Greek who was watching for the return of the fleet crept up to the wooden horse and gave the signal. The side of the horse opened. The Greek climbed out and opened the gate. The whole Greek army entered the sleeping city. Immediately the Greeks set fire to house and towers and places and began to burn and kill. That means at the time. That means this night, a night of terror and death for the Trojans. Lastly, the Greek ship had not sailed the port. म्हणजे जर दूर गेल्या होत्या शिप्स नव्हत्या, As soon as they were hidden by an island, that means they are hide on the island. They had lowered their sail and dropped anchors to waited for the night. That means the Greek people who is the waited of this night. In the darkness, the fleet sailed back and leading ship, which is the Agamemnon's bore and red light high its master. The Greek who was watching for the return of the fleet and crept of the wooden horse. फक्त काय करत होते की लोक सिग्नलची वाट बघत होते. Horse and gave the signal, and this gave the signal. The side of horse is opened, and at that time the side of horse is open, and he climbed out and opened the gate, and at that time the Greek opened the gates. The whole Greek army entered the sleeping city. म्हणजे ती जी Greek लोक होती जी बाहेर लपून बसलेली होती ती काय झाली सगळी त्या सिटीमध्ये आली. Immediately the Greeks set fire and houses, towers and places. Greekनी काय केलं? They guys set fires and houses, towers and places and began to burn and kill. आणि काय केली ती Trojanची पूर्ण city काय केली? Burn केली. Troy was filled with the sight of the leaping flames and the sound of the shouting and noise of the weapons and cries of weeping women. The sleeping Trojans ran out of their bed, but they were taken by the surprise. Their enemies were right inside the wall, and many of the Trojans were killed before they could put on their armor and sight their weapons. That means lastly the Trojan was killed with the sight of living flames. That means the Greek who was the burned the houses, towers, places. Because of this, the sight of living flames, the sound of shouting, the noise weapons, and the crying of weeping women. At that time, the sleeping Trojans sprang out of their beds, but they were taken by surprise. That means the Greeks give the surprise to the Trojans. The enemies were right inside their wall. Inside gateच्या आतमध्ये आलेले होते. Their enemies were right inside the wall, and many of the Trojans were killed before they could put on their armor and seize their weapons. त्यांनी weapons काढायच्या अगोदर त्यांनी सगळं काय केलं होतं? Burn केलं होतं. A bright light lit up night skies and the places and houses, temples, towers went up the flame. The Trojans fought as well as they could, but it was all in the when old King Priam was killed with of his brave son Hector's wife. His older mother and sister were carried out slaves by the consequence. Their fate was the contrast. Helen's when King Menelaus rushed through the city looking for her and found her in palace. She hung her head in shame and sorrow as she faced her former husband. Her voice was choked with emotion and she could not speak. But Menelaus forgave her and she went back with him. For it was only Aphrodite who had turned her heart away from her home and her husband and her child. When morning came, nothing was left on the proud rich city that has resisted attack for 10 years. That means next day, bright light lit up night sky and the places. That means the Greek who was the burner all these Trojan cities, and he burned the places, houses, temples and towers. Then Trojan fought as well as they could, but it was all immense. Older King Priam was killed with all his brave sons. The older king होता तो काय झाला होता? त्याच्या son बरोबर काय झालेलं होता? Kill केलं, मारला गेलेला होता. Hector's wife and his older mother and sister were carried off the slave by the consequence. The fate in contrast of Helen's. When King Menelaus rushed from the city, आणि शेवटी काय करतो? तो Menelaus असतो तो काय करतो? हेक्टरला बसवून सगळं ओढत घेऊन जातो. Look for her and found her in her palace. She hung her head in shock and terror as emotion, and she could not speak, but Penelope Parveoकर म्हणजे ती काय करते ऍक्च्युली ती काय झालेली असते पळून आलेली असते त्याच्याबरोबर ती, आणि त्यावेळी युद्ध संपत त्यावेळेला म्हणजे तिला काय करतो ओळख घेऊन जातो आणि तिला काय करतो फॉरगिव्ह म्हणजे तिला काय करतो क्षमा करतो, आणि ते शी वेंट बॅक विथ हिम आणि ती काय करते त्याच्याबरोबर परत जाते. पण ही वॉज ओनली Aphrodite who had turned her away from her home and her husband and her child. And then when morning came, nothing was left of the proud rich city that has resisted attack for 10 years. म्हणजे actually हे युद्ध कधी थांबलं? In this war the Greek was winner.